Today, I'm going to show you how to track your period with Google Calendar and integrate them. It's done via a script, Google Scripts, and I will show you how to access the script, run the script, so you can have your period be synced with Google Calendar. Enter two AI hosts to join us in this fun tutorial.
We're going to be looking at something that really caught my eye.
Oh, and what's that?
Well, we've got this excerpt here, right? And it's talking about integrating period tracking
Okay.
directly into Google Calendar.
Interesting. Yeah, that's new.
Right. So I was like,
Oh, hey, welcome.
Hey,
What's up?
thank you. It's good to be here. So now I'm going through the instructions to show them how to do it. So I'm just going to click the first link, which is the scripts. It's the scripts script to run the tracker. So the only thing you need to do to get this running is just to change that calendar ID. And then you can also customize the menstrual days, follicular days, and once you customize these four, you want them to add up to the number of days that's typically in your cycle. So if your cycles are 28 days, you want these four to add up to 28. The start date is defined as the date
That's really helpful insight. Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
it's like
you.
you're already a pro user.
So it's not just about knowing it, right?
Right.
It's about actually implementing and making it work.
Exactly. Like you were saying, it's right there in the calendar.
In the shared calendar?
Wow. Okay. So it's not just about the individual, like knowing, right? It's about weaving that awareness into decisions that you're making as a couple
Exactly. And that shift, I think, can be really empowering.
for both partners.
Yeah, for both. Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
Hey guys, I just wanted to finish the settings. So the start date is typically the date your period would start. So if it starts January 5th, that would be the start of the menstrual phase. And then projected cycles is you're not going to know exactly what day your period starts in the next cycle, but this just says like, okay, next month, this is 28 days from now, this is when your period's projected to start. And that way, if you're doing Google Calendar planning far out in advance, you can have an idea of when your period's projected to start. The rest of the script's using ChatGPT. I wrote this. You can modify it any way you want. One thing I would want to make you aware of is there is a section that deletes existing events for one full cycle. The way I do it is once my partner's period starts, let's say January 5th, I would just run that, and then let's say the next period would be like February 3rd or something. Then I would actually rerun the script, and this delete thing is in here, so it kind of resyncs the entire integration because projected days are not always the same day it would land. I'll show you how to create a new calendar to make sure it's not going to delete any events in your existing calendar.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that resyncing idea is key to keep the projections accurate. And creating a new calendar to avoid deleting anything. That's a great tip. Thanks.
So it's clear this is not just about tracking, but this idea of shared awareness that you brought up.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, in my opinion.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's not just about the person who has the period, right?
No.
It's about their partner being on the same page.
And it also sounds like you're being thoughtful about things like start dates and projections with the way you're using it,
The source mentions that it should blend into daily routines.
which really highlights how customizable it is for individuals, like you have shown us.
It's great.
Hey,
uh-huh.
What's up? What's up? So I just wanted to show you how to get the calendar ID because that's the only thing you need to do to get this script running. So we're going to change this with our actual calendar ID, and the way you do that is you just go to the first we're going to actually just copy the script over. So once you have the kind of the template, you just copy it, and then you add a new project and you paste it in.
Wow, thanks for walking us through that step by step. It's great to see how it works in practice.
Yeah, that's incredibly helpful to hear how you're actually getting into the nuts and bolts of setting it up.
It really highlights how important it is to customize it for your own use, like you were doing, and that it's not just a plug and play sort of thing.
Right. It's about taking the template and really making it work for you and for the people you're sharing with.
And, it's fascinating that you're showing us how to actually get the calendar ID because that's crucial. Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, so now we're actually going to get the calendar ID. So you go to Google Calendar and you just say create new calendar. So let's call it something discrete. We can even call it tracker. Say create calendar.
Okay, so you're showing us how to create a new calendar
Go to
specifically
configure.
for this purpose,
Yeah, and I love that you're calling it something discrete like tracker, so it's not obvious what it is.
which ties into that idea of blending into daily routines that the source mentioned earlier.
Right.
Here's the
So it's not
calendar
just
ID.
about creating a new calendar, it's also how you name it, right?
Exactly. And it sounds like you were also thinking about the sharing aspect too.
Okay, so you were about to tell us how to copy the script over, right?
And as we've talked about, it's about more than just a period tracking app.
Exactly. It is not just about the individual.
So, how does this integration affect a relationship?
Well, it facilitates open communication and it,
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Quick update, we got the calendar ID, we pasted it in, and now we can run it. So all we have to do is save it and then press run. And this here has no events, but this should be populated with period events once we run it.
okay, that's
Going
great.
through
It
some
sounds like you're
permissions,
just
you
about
always
there,
have to-
ready to get this thing running.
Yeah, that's amazing progress. So, you got the ID in there. Yep, go on.
One other thing is you have to make sure permissions are run.
Okay, that's a great point. You're right. There's always those small things that can get overlooked.
Yes, it is important to double check everything before you get started with something like this.
And you've really demonstrated that by showing us the technical aspects of how it's set up.
And with how thoughtful you are about start dates, it really shows the customizability of it, like you pointed out.
Yeah, and it's not just about one person knowing the cycle anymore, right?
Okay, let's unpack this a little further, this idea of shared access, which I know you mentioned before.
Well, the thing that really caught my eye was that idea of the shared access that we mentioned earlier, which you've been demonstrating.
And the ease of use really encourages proactive planning, not just reacting to things, right?
I love this idea. Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
So update, the script is run. So we're going to go to Google Calendar and check it out. And there we go. It looks pretty
Awesome.
good.
It sounds like the script is up and running, ready to go.
That's exciting. So now you're about to see those period events in the calendar.
You know, that's really the moment where the integration.
Oh, go for it.
We actually see them already, so that's pretty exciting. Now I'm just going to show a couple things to...
Oh, that's fantastic. It's great to hear that you're already seeing the period events in the calendar.
Yeah, that's super cool. It sounds like things are progressing quickly.
It's almost like you're bringing the source material to life right here in real time.
Right. It's nothing to talk.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, and now I can show, I'm just showing them how to like check and uncheck the tracker. I'm also showing it how to share with a specific person. You're not going to make this public necessarily. You can just add your partner's name to the script, and that's pretty much it. Hey, so the demo is pretty much over, but yeah, why don't we just have a fireside chat to finish things off?
That sounds great. A fireside chat is a nice way to wrap things up and reflect on the process.
Yeah, I love it. Let's get comfy and chat about how all this has come together.
So from everything you've done, from setting up the calendar, sharing, and now even editing the script, how's it feeling?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what you've accomplished by taking the basic script and making it your own and controlling who sees it and making sure it's accurate.
And it's not just about getting the script and using it as is, right?
Right. It's about personalizing it with the calendar name, sharing settings, and now the script edits, like we mentioned.
And that projected cycle detail we discussed is key. It's not static and it can be adjusted.
It's fascinating how adaptable it is and how you are really making the most out of that flexibility by editing the code itself.
And as you've shown us, that personalization extends to the code too with the edits you made to the script.
Yeah, it really moves that private info into a space you control to collaborate more intentionally.
And like the source says, it's a shared, easily accessible platform, and you're demonstrating it's not public unless you want it to be.
We were excited to see how it looked and if the events showed up, and you showed us that too.
And now that we've seen how it all works, it's very cool and how secure it is.
And as we've talked about, it's not just individual tracking, but a shared awareness, and you are still in control of it.
Right. Yeah, it's been great diving into this and seeing how it can be customized, especially that script edit. Very impressive.
Thanks for joining us today and sharing your awesome insights with us, as well as your technical expertise.
And thank you for sharing all your insights and your code edit. It was really cool. We appreciate that.
We'll catch you next time, everyone. It's been so great having you here again and seeing it all in action.
Goodbye for now, and thanks
See you
again
guys.
for walking us through all of that.